What happens when your best friend suddenly starts treating you like a rival? That's exactly the situation Canada found itself in when U.S. President Donald Trump began slapping heavy tariffs on trade partners, including Canada itself. For decades, Canada and the U.S. were economic teammates, tied together by pipelines, railways, and billion-dollar deals. But in a matter of months, Trump's America First strategy began to fracture that trust. It started with bold threats, 25% tariffs on Canadian goods. Then came temporary suspensions, confusing deadlines, and fiery speeches about how the U.S. had been mistreated. Canada realized it couldn't afford to just wait and hope things would calm down. Let's talk about food, because that's where the trade battle gets personal. For years, the United States was Canada's biggest source of imported food. From dairy to snacks to beverages, American goods filled Canadian shelves. But now, with tariffs threatening to raise prices and choke supply, Canada started looking for replacements, and that's where Italy stepped in. Italian exports of food and drinks to Canada have been growing steadily, and the numbers prove it. In fact, Italy now ranks third, just behind the United States and Mexico, with over $1.5 billion in agri-food exports to Canada. That means Italy has even surpassed France, Canada's longtime European favorite. Where is Italy gaining ground? In packaged foods, cheese, yogurt, pasta, olive oil, and especially wine. Since the CETA agreement went into effect in 2017, Italian wine exports to Canada have surged year after year. Today, Italian wines are often seen as premium, affordable, and most importantly, not American. Now imagine this. If Canada retaliates against U.S. food imports with its own tariffs, these Italian goods won't just be alternatives. They'll be the new default. In short, the grocery store has become a battlefield, and Italy is winning shelf by shelf, bottle by bottle. But this isn't just about pasta and Pinot Grigio. What's happening between Canada and Italy runs much deeper than food. Behind the scenes, both countries are quietly weaving a broad economic alliance, one that reaches into technology, energy, manufacturing, and even critical minerals. It's all part of something called the Italy-Canada Roadmap for Enhanced Cooperation, a formal agreement launched to strengthen ties in key sectors. Let's break that down. Canada has the raw materials, like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth elements. Italy, on the other hand, has specialized industries in semiconductors, e-mobility, and aerospace. Together they're forming a kind of supply chain handshake. Canada provides the resources, Italy turns them into high-value products. They're also aligning their ambitions. Both nations are pushing for clean energy, green tech, and digital infrastructure. In 2023, they even launched a matchmaking platform to connect small and mid-sized businesses from both sides, turning political agreements into real-world partnerships. And here's the kicker. While the United States is pulling back with tariffs and protectionism, Italy and Canada are doing the opposite. They're opening up, building trust, and planning long-term. So what started as a trade workaround is now evolving into a strategic alliance, ready to shape the future of industries that matter. Beyond trade and economics, Italy and Canada are also joining forces in two powerful areas: security and energy. Let's start with defense. Both countries are members of NATO and are ramping up joint military cooperation. Italian and Canadian forces already train and serve together in places like Latvia, helping protect Europe's eastern flank. But their partnership goes beyond boots on the ground. They're also working side by side on cybersecurity, especially through the G7 Rapid Response Mechanism, which tracks threats like foreign disinformation and AI-driven online attacks. Now, let's talk energy. Canada is rich in natural resources: hydro, wind, solar, and critical minerals. Italy brings technological expertise and a growing clean energy sector. Together, they're working on bold initiatives to speed up the clean energy transition. That includes developing hydrogen fuel, sustainable biofuels, and even carbon capture technologies. For example, Italy is considering joining Canada in the Alliance for Sustainable Critical Minerals, which could help both countries reduce reliance on countries like China for rare elements used in batteries and electronics. They're also supporting multilateral efforts to phase out coal by the early 2030s and meet climate goals set in international agreements. In a world where superpowers are increasingly going it alone, Italy and Canada are proving that cooperation still works, especially when it's built on shared values and long-term strategy. So what started as a response to Trump's tariffs has quietly become something much bigger. Canada isn't just reacting anymore. It's repositioning. And in doing so, it's reshaping who it trusts, who it trades with, and who it builds its future alongside. For decades, the United States was Canada's automatic partner. But now, Ottawa is showing the world that it's willing to move on, and Italy is stepping in to fill that gap. This shift isn't loud, it's not dramatic, but it's real. It's happening through signed agreements, redirected exports, joint clean energy projects, and growing military and cyber alliances. While the United States closes itself off with tariffs, Canada and Italy are building open, future-focused partnerships. And here's the bigger question. If Canada can pivot away from its biggest economic partner, who's next? Could other nations start doing the same, quietly looking for alternatives to the old power structures? In the end, Trump's tariffs may do more than just raise prices. They may be pushing the world into a new economic era, one where mid-sized powers like Canada and Italy take the lead in shaping global trade and cooperation. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future deep dives like this one. We break down the global economy in ways that make sense. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.